Hello and welcome to another Trusted Teachers video. Being the support that we needed when starting out, this is another one of our business management videos, and I'm going to teach another business lesson to Mr. C.
Good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon.
Okay, Mr. C, so we're going to look at something called sectors of industry today. So by the end of this video, you and our viewers should be able to identify the sectors of industry, give brief descriptions of them, and also give some real life examples of the sectors of industry.
Okay.
Okay, so just a wee introduction. So businesses operate in different sectors of industry, and each sector undertakes different types of business activity. So the different sectors, there'll be different sorts of business activity going on, and we'll explain more about that later. Mr. C, do you know what the three main sectors of industry are?
Just a guess, but is it kind of like primary, secondary, tertiary? Is that the terms?
That sounded like more than a guess to me, Mr. C.
Oh.
That is the main three. There's an additional one which you'll need to be aware of at a higher level of study called the quaternary sector, but that's not the focus of this video. Okay, so as Mr. C correctly said, the three main sectors of industry are primary, secondary, and tertiary. Mr. C, could you, if you can, would you be able to give me a brief wee bit of information about each of those based on your understanding?
Primary is the more, traditionally what I understand would be a more basic level. Secondary is more advanced, and tertiary, traditionally the most advanced. When relating it to business, I'm not too sure how we relate those terms to business. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Just in terms of learners remembering it, a wee way to remember it is obviously you start off your school education in primary school and then go into secondary school and then on to tertiary education, which is a term that's used to describe college and university. So that's just a wee way for learners to remember the names. In terms of information, the primary sector are businesses that take raw materials from the ground. So they extract raw materials from the earth, the kind of natural environment. Secondary sectors where you take these raw materials and you make something with them. So the manufacturing industry. And tertiary are businesses that provide a service to their customers. Okay, is that a wee bit clearer then? That's just the three kind of main areas there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sears, again, I'll put you on the spot. Can you think of any types of business activity that would take place in the primary sector? Can you think of any examples?
The immediate one that springs to mind, I suppose, is like mining.
Yeah, mining would be an example. Think of any more?
Fishing, would it be?
Fishing, yeah, is in the primary sector.
Yeah, so they're taking kind of animals from the sea.
Anything else?
Farming, is that a
Farming,
primary?
yeah, that would also be one. Okay, so that's some good examples there. What about secondary? Can you think of any kind of types of business that would be in the secondary sector?
I think a lot of kind of production, like maybe the car industry, the automotive industry, mobile phones, laptops, that type of thing.
Yeah, so it could basically be anything there. It's any type of business. It's taking raw materials and turning them into a finished product.
Yeah.
What about the tertiary sector? Can you think of any examples of businesses that provide a service?
Banking, the banking industry.
Yeah, banking would be one. Anything else?
Financial services in general. My mind's at a blank, I'm sorry.
It could just be any general services. Like what services do you pay for, or could you pay for that
Well,
would help you in your everyday life?
electricity, gas, the kind of utilities.
Yeah, I guess they provide a service as well. And there's obviously other ones we can talk about. So on the next slide, there's some basic examples of farming, fishing, and mining, and you mentioned all three. Secondary, I mentioned like car manufacturing, builders, and even a cake baker because they're taking raw materials or a chef and turning them into a finished product. Tertiary, I've given examples, things like fitness instructor, hotels, supermarkets. Although supermarkets sell a physical product, they're providing a service in terms of selling it to the customer.
Right.
A lot of things might be a combination of secondary and tertiary. If you take like a pizzeria, they're secondary in the sense they're making their own food, but then they're also tertiary because they're selling it on to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
So there's wee links in there. Okay, that's us actually finished. It was just a short input today. So hopefully you've now got a better understanding of the sectors of industry. Mr. C, could you briefly summarise the primary sector based on your understanding now?
Primary sector takes raw materials, from the land and from the world around us. So I'm looking at trees out the back here. So maybe forestry would be one that would take the raw materials. Secondary is someone that takes those raw materials and fashions them into a product. So I'm just thinking about maybe the trees, have been used to make paper and desks and those types of wooden products. And tertiary is providing a service to meet people's needs and wants.
That's a perfect summary, Mr. C. So that's us finished. This was Trusted Teachers, one of our business videos, being the support that we needed. And just to let you know, we'll soon have a website launching where we can share with you some of our videos and other resources. Thank you for your time.